Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Lion and Bear Report. I'm Space Lion,
I'm Kodiak.
and we're here to bring you all the action from Week 3 in Division 4D. But before we get to that, I want to check in with Kodiak here on how his week 3 went.
Uh, Good and bad, I would say. I won my match, so that's the good. Won 1-0, but
Congrats.
took some damage that I wasn't totally happy with. I've got two Nurgle Warriors out next week. One really good one with just MNG, and one with probably my worst Nurgle Warrior, but he's still level 3, has a armor bust.
Hmm.
And so that's disappointing, particularly going into a game against another Nurgle team.
Yeah.
This is actually Louis Jano, the previous Super Bowl player. So I originally had a better team than his. Now for this match, have a worse team than his.
Hmm.
But that said, I got my win, and I certainly can't complain about injuries in comparison to some of the things we'll be talking about this week.
Ooh, yeah. Oh man.
Just a
That,
little spoiler.
yeah, that's a good transition. Yeah, I got to watch a little bit of your match, and yeah, that was intense. You know, definitely taking that damage, but still managing to pull out the win was good because I think a
Would have
tie
been
or a
real
loss.
place.
Yeah, a lot of would have been a lot of frustration, um, and yeah, especially going into your first of two Nurgle Mirror matches. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. There's two Nurgle Mirror matches. This is against the lower TV team. This is like I was in the middle, and this one was lower. I'm now lower
Mm.
than them. There's an absolute monster team waiting for me later in the season.
Oh my gosh.
That's going to be really nasty. But yeah, it was a match where, in order to do as much damage as he did, he was saying this like openly in the coach to coach chat. It was just like he's rerolling at the end of the season, so he's just going to go out at 100%. So
Mm.
he would do things
Yeah.
like blitz, take his nicest blitzer and like blitz out one of my pieces that was being protected by the beast, and
Mm-hmm.
leave that piece next to the beast to then be hit by and niggled by the beast. And so it was one of the things where it's like he basically like went as glass cannon as you can as a chore
Mm-hmm.
team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so he got some damage, but it cost him a lot. So
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Um, well, yeah. And so where does that put you in the standings?
I'm like fourth place, I think, because I have one tie.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, I'm currently in fourth place.
Hmm.
So I can, it's and that's tied with two other teams that also have the same number of points as me. They just have better TD differentials.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
there's definitely room to do. And also, like 2A top three teams go to the main playoffs. Um,
Oh, right.
so I don't need to be in first place anymore
Yeah.
to get.
Yeah.
So I'm currently, if it were to go now, I would be in the Challenger Cup,
Oh, cool.
and I would consider that to be a huge accomplishment in 2A. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I don't expect to stay there,
Well,
but
yeah, I think
I'm
that
doing okay now.
sounds like next match will be pretty telling. So
Yeah,
we'll have your report next week to look forward to.
yeah.
Uh, cool. We're ready to jump into the action from the week.
Let's do it.
Um, and if anyone's catching this live, let us know how it sounds. Always looking to tweak our audio to make
Yeah,
sure.
audio is always a crapshoot.
Yeah. It's like I swear I left it in the same spot as before, but one sneeze and it all comes apart.
Yeah.
Cool. Troxburg saying looks good so far,
So great.
and my graphics are a little off here. I gotta rewind a little bit. There we go. To the first match of the week, which was Mean Green and Thick versus Cross of the Empire. I believe they played this first, even, or it was pretty early.
There we go. Yeah, this was I think a pretty early match.
Yeah. So yeah, I got a chance to watch the replay of this. I think Gojira tried to stream it, but was having some issues.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I think Cross of the Empire. Yeah, so they spent a little bit of money to, well, actually all of their bank to get a Bloodweiser Babe. Um, and this actually did come into play. as you can imagine, orcs versus pro elves. And yeah, so this one started out pretty normally. So the elves chose to go into defense first, um, and they kicked. They managed to actually. I guess the odd thing was they managed to kick it out of bounds even with the kick skill. But they wanted it deep, and boy did it. Uh, and then there was also a riot to start. So immediately outside of the touchback, looking not too bad for the elves. If they could get maybe they could bog the orcs down enough to stall them out, and they definitely tried. Like one thing I will give Cross of the Empire is they are like completely unafraid of
Hmm.
throwing themselves into whatever cage or formation or what have you. They're going to throw everything at it. They started cage diving from like moment one. As soon as the orcs had gotten into their cage formation, uh, technically turn two, they were throwing themselves in there. And the orcs didn't get much damage from it. They really tried, obviously. They're going to punch and punch and punch and punch. They just managed to like trade a couple KOs, and it led to like I mean the orcs were very patient and driving up the pitch, but the elves kept coming at them. Managed to pop the ball free on turn 7, I think. The orcs were pretty close to scoring and had been caged, but again, the elves just kept coming at them and really hadn't dropped numbers. I think there's like 3 KOs for them in the first half, against them, I should say.
Hmm.
And and so they popped the ball free but couldn't get a recovery. Um, and the orcs just barely scored in turn 8. They got it on a 4+. They had to pick it up in a tackle zone. Got a 4+, had to re-roll that, and then got a 3+ dodge into to be able to get into the end zone. So went into
It's
the
gonna be a little
half.
frustrating for the. That's gonna be a little frustrating for the elves to like put all that pressure on, and then it's like, oh, okay, 4+3+, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the frustration didn't stop there. They had one turn. I think they set up for potential one turn, but perfect defense ruined that,
Mm.
and went into the half 1-0, which feels strange looking at the score line,
Yeah.
and the way like each half ran. But and again, there's no like permanent damage. All the KOs came back. Babes came into play. So starting the second half, everybody was full up. Had a full team. But that changed pretty quickly. Um, the elves set up for a quick score by getting their leap player into position to score. They leapt over the orcs, used a reroll for it, and got set up. Failed to pick up the ball in the meantime, which I think has been like part of their MO is failing 2+s on pickups. But yeah, the orcs turn around and immediately pow and injure this poor blitzer, which we
Mm.
can see the result of that. I think the initial roll for that was a agility down,
Mm.
and then they re-rolled it and got a movement down, which I think obviously, I mean, you take that.
Yeah, you take the movement down, particularly on like a leap piece where going 3+ to 4+ on those leaps is not fun.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, we see that it got the the MVP, which then got Frenzy, which I really like.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it was a bit unfortunate, especially with the ball on the ground. The orcs had started to put pressure on it. The elves, the next turn, failed the first pickup attempt. Spent a reroll and got it this time. But then left themselves open to a blitz. Like the orcs had to do GFIs, but they still made it. Managed to
Hmm.
get the blitz on the thrower. Um, got it both down, which was like an unskilled lino that did it for the orcs. So they both went down. The thrower gets stunned. There was thankfully a piece from the elves that was back there that was able to
Hmm.
then like scamper, pick up the ball, and chuck it. But it was like a 4+ pass without a pass skill in sight. But they managed to get it. Elves score 1-1. And I'm still wondering, like, how in the world is this going to get 2-2? Well, the orcs on their next drive just kind of left the door open
Hmm.
for the elves to like run in and snatch it. They pushed so like up to the midline. The ball was kicked short and right in the middle. They did all their punching and like marking first, and then tried to pick it up. Failed, and all in like the agility plus strength plus catcher just walked in and took it. Oh wait, no, sorry, it was the blitzer. Agility up blitzer just walked up and took it. Orcs tried to get him down, they couldn't, so he basically just had to dodge out and score. Um, at that point, the KOs had kind of piled up, and Orcs were in a decent position to score, but wildly the Pro Elves got a blitz um, on the next kick, which you'd think, oh, that's gonna be sweet. But weirdly, and this was my like one point of contention with Cross the Empire, I felt like he played really, really great all the way up until this point. What he did on the blitz was move all his pieces to the sides and like towards the ball. So he didn't mark up anybody. He didn't leave anybody back as safety. He just threw a
Hmm.
bunch of players down the sideline, and the Orcs just like screened those off, beat up a couple of them, took the ball and ran up the pitch,
Hmm.
and that was the match. There wasn't
Interesting.
any stopping it, but yeah, it was like when that second blitz hit, or not second blitz, but blitz at the end hit. I thought, if I didn't know the final score, I would have thought it would be a
Yeah.
prime opportunity to get the win there.
I mean, that can be like a classic problem, right? Where you set up a screen and then it's like something happens, and I'm going to commit to go after it, but if it doesn't get done,
Mm-hmm.
it turns around and
Yeah.
it ends up screwing you.
Yeah, and the kick was like deep down the middle, and the Orcs were set up for
Mm.
that. Like
Okay.
there wasn't an easy in, but I don't think they blitzed on the blitz, which was
Mm.
always weird to me. And then yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't push in or mark or be as aggressive as they had been to get to that point.
Interesting.
But yeah, it was a very interesting match to watch. I'm really glad I caught up on the replay. But yeah, anything that jumps out on the sheet, I like. I mean, it looks like both of the MVPs went in good places. Obviously,
Definitely.
it sucks to have the movement down on the blitzer.
Yeah, but I mean, he's already like a good piece, and until you get, I think you probably go leap on Imtherin as the natural replacement for him
Mm-hmm.
someday,
Mm-hmm.
for Tebelon someday.
Yeah.
But until then, it's not bad. It's better to go on him than on Journeyman or like some random lineman.
Yeah.
Um,
Though I keep forgetting that blitzer's also armor busted too.
yeah, I mean that's a problem because that makes it a really tempting target
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's pro elves. They're just 87 normally, right? So he's down to 86.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's got two of those. Oh, three of those actually.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting to see that the orcs moved the ball so much more. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that's indicative of like there was a back and forth on their drive. So presumably they were trying to like keep
Mm-hmm.
moving it forwards. A lot
Yep.
more blocks on their side. Given those blocks and those armor breaks, less damage to the
Oh my
pro elves than there
gosh.
could have been.
Yeah.
Like the movement bust is a shame, but only one casualty.
Right. Yeah, that's
That's
that.
not that bad.
Yeah, I think that's where like watching it live would have been interesting because it would have probably could have felt the orcs' frustration, especially in that first
Yeah.
drive where the elves just kept coming and coming and coming, and they couldn't like they kept punching them and nothing happened. Like the maybe stun here or there, right? Um, but yeah, definitely a lot of KOs here and there, but not enough consistently to really feel comfortable.
Mhm. Yeah, so that's Troxberg's in chat correctly pointing out that actually blitzers are the one ABA piece on a pro elf team.
Oh yeah,
So they're down to 87, which is a little bit less crushing.
yeah,
Still not
yeah,
great, but it's less bad.
yeah.
Also got Trucksbird's happy that piece is out for the game against him, and talk a little shit about how our cast looks, being very clear that no, it just sounds good.
Yeah, yeah, definitely nothing to look at here. Uh, no, yeah, I had forgotten about the armor value 8 because you just think of pro elves and you think of 777 777. But yeah, so that's not that bad of a piece. Then you probably just ride that out. I guess the movement bust then makes it on notice. Like you said, maybe trying to get leap on the agility up one, and then you can recycle. Like I feel like with pro off blitzers, you can recycle them pretty easily because you just get them dodge and they're pretty much on their way.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to keep him around while you get leap on the other blitzer and trying to get a skill that isn't a stat up on the catcher.
Yeah, yeah, that would be nice. Cool. Next up, we have Arf Arf I'm an Elf versus Goblins.dce. I think this one
Yeah,
even got noticed in REL chat where they're like, "Oh, so apparently 4D is all about those misnamed team races, huh?"
yeah. We should ask like, was this a purposeful? Like, did they create 4D as the place to put all the four teams with weird names?
Yeah,
Like cross race names.
yeah. Uh, I caught half of this match, and
Okay,
boy, was this exciting.
yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, do you see the first half or the second half?
I saw the second half, so I'll let you
Okay.
kick it off.
Okay. So, yeah. So our inducements here were Wizard and Skitter Stab Stab, for the Skaven. Um, Necro receives. There's a pitch invasion. It hits Necro a little bit harder than the rats, including both flesh golems going down. And the ball ends up isolated after a failed pickup is rerolled into success, which uses up the
Mm,
reroll. So then
mm-hmm.
there's a blitz by a zombie that then 1 in 9s. He doesn't have block, and the
Man.
ball's just uh, left. But the rats were set up really deep to avoid having a better piece get
Mm-hmm.
blitzed, because
Mm-hmm.
there's a blitz on a line rat that was like on the line of scrimmage, and so they can't really threaten it.
Yeah.
So it's a few turns before Triform Cutter that beautiful ball hawk goes in, fails Dauntless. So yeah,
Oh
which is really
man.
unfortunate, but double pals on the red die.
Oh
So
what?
yes, and that's going after Stone Ripper, and that's where that MNG comes from.
Oh man.
So that had to have been infuriating, I would think, for Opponentosaurus, right? Is
Yeah.
Dauntless fail? This guy gets in the cage, Dauntless fails, you're like, amazing. Whoops, double pals. Nope, my strength of Ghoul's gone.
Yep. Yeah. For the like entirety of this match, pretty much, and then the next.
Skitter leaves a couple turns later. The Mighty Blow Wolf goes after him
Mm.
uh, while carrying the ball,
Oh.
which you love to see, but it gets him out of the match. There's like a back there's a back and forth between who has the ball. Triform Cutter knocks it free 2 times in the first half, but Necro keeps like trying to cover it, and this game can't really get it away.
Mm.
And yeah, so I said like the broad shape of the first half was that. So one of the things that was really interesting, I think, in terms of the positioning was Necro had this real fear of the wizard,
Yeah.
and it meant that they made a loose cage, and that's very sensible. But that's what caused all those cage dives
Mm-hmm.
was
Mm-hmm.
the fact that um, that like you have this loose cage, so it's 3+ dodges in instead of 4+ dodges for the two head pieces, and that's why the ball kept hitting the ground.
Yeah.
Uh,
Didn't.
Ponzosaurus probably felt a little bit bad about his dice in the first half, and just like a lot of failed pickups, failed
Yeah.
GFIs.
Yep. Didn't
Uh,
the Skaven end up scoring in that half though?
yeah, I believe that's where the Skaven score comes from.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Because I think that's where I came in. Where I actually might have come in right when Stone Ripper got hurt, but yeah, like the Skaven
Yeah,
managed to get the
yeah, he,
score.
he went down 0 on his own drive, and that's what's on those failed pickups and failed
Mm.
GFIs.
Yep.
Like it's
Yep.
just with all of the pressure on the ball, he had some chances to keep recovering,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it wasn't working out for him.
Yeah.
Though I
Yeah.
mean, and that's not, of course, to say no to put down Tim Nelson's play. Who I think played very well and had a strong game and really kept the pressure on by
Mm-hmm.
not using the wizard immediately
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
forcing that loose cage.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. You got so many pieces to take advantage of that fear. Um, yeah, and so I saw the second half, and again, I think the frustration was fairly palpable watching it from the
Mm-hmm.
Necros side, um, especially with the Skaven then receiving on the second half.
Yeah.
But then, like, I feel like armor started to break uh, in the Necros' favor at that point, and it hadn't really been in the first half.
Yeah, at the very start, the Skaven removal game goes well. and they come out of
Mm,
turn 9 with a 9-7 player advantage, but then it
that's
turns
right.
over on them, and
Yeah.
you start seeing those 6 KOs sustained in that chart there for the Skaven really start to come in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it was like I think what the Skaven tried to do was like uh just trying to salvage something out of it. By like I think they set up a gutter runner, and I can't remember if this was Kiki Jiki or not. Set up them as a receiver, toss the ball down to them, um, kind of hoping I guess the Necro wouldn't get them, or at least that they would be able to. They wouldn't be able to recover well enough that the Skaven could just have the ball on that side of the pitch, and instead the werewolf was able to like really. I think it was one of the werewolves really jumped in and got the ball down, and then Necro was able to recover at that point.
Yeah,
And like,
there was a real string of failures in that second half. Like basically, whenever a player
mm,
got near the ball, it like started failing die rolls.
yeah, Tim coming in to remind us of what really happened.
Yeah, Kiki G got hurt in the first half.
While stalling. Yeah.
Well,
Gotcha.
Kiki wasn't in this match, right?
Right. That's what that says. Yeah. Hmm.
That's interesting.
Why do I keep thinking that piece is out? Um.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what that pink means. Is that the piece was in the
Yeah.
game?
I know. I know. But I was just like, oh yeah, they're gonna be gone for a while. Um. But yeah. So. Uh. There was an immediate riot, so the stall didn't even matter. He said, which I'm guessing he means for the second half. Uh, but yeah.
But yeah, yes, yeah. And late in the half, we saw the Necro trying to break through with the ball. The Wizard does slow them down. That's when we finally see it come out. But they're able to
Mm,
recover.
yeah. Yeah, it really felt like the momentum was in the Skaven's hands
Mhm.
at the start of the second, especially with like you said, some of the early LOS removals. It just seemed like nothing uh, was going to turn against them. But of course, we know how that works.
Tim Nielsen lets us know that we were right. That Kijiki was not in this match. He was thinking of game two.
Sweet, we
Nice.
win. This is all part of our ploy to like trap viewers into thinking that they remember things that they don't actually. And that's how we prove that we're really smart, because we
Yeah.
we remember something. Um, yeah, yeah. So again, another one where, well, I guess this did catch up with them, but another match with a lot of blocks and a fair number of breaks, but no big damage.
Yeah.
Just like the biggest thing is yeah, there was like a journeyman that was missed next game, but
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, he'll be at full strength for his next match.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, like big game for the line rats, right? Like the journeyman or
Yeah,
like the new players, right? Skitter's badly hurt. One gets expelled. One takes an MNG, and one gets the MVP because he was the good one.
yeah. They each had their role and they played it well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, cool. All right. Next up, oh man.
Yeah.
Next up, goodness. We have. I do have a what we learned this week for this match, but we don't. It's not about the match itself, so maybe we talk about the match first.
Yeah. This is this is what we did bad by Darkanon
Yes, yeah, we did
in
real
terms
bad.
of coverage. Really unfortunate match for him. Huge win for Cthulhu. Like 4-0 unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah,
It's gonna be it puts him in a really advantageous position in the TD differential game.
yeah. They were already up by 5 in two
Yeah, something
matches,
like yeah. Now it's just absurd.
and now it's yeah 9-3. So I don't. I mean, or people are just gonna have to beat him.
Yeah, yeah. And there, yeah, it was that was helped a little bit. I don't think this is what changed the match, but like helped by no inducements, right? There's 120 inducements going to
Oh
peak
yeah,
altitude, and this is the one where he's just like forgot to do it.
Yep. Yep.
And so, yeah, that doesn't help when you don't get,
No.
a bribe or an apothecary or something.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, and we see, yeah, a lot of damage going peak altitude's way, as you'd imagine. On just
Mhm.
9 armor breaks, though. It's so, it's like the opposite of the other two matches that we've seen, right? Where it's like ton of armor breaks, everybody's fine, more or less. But yeah, here you have a MNG, a perm. I mean, a dead loner, but still, that wasn't able to help out the rest of that match.
Sterling Hornets has done an incredible amount of damage to his team for a pro elf team with no like kill skills.
Yeah, that
It's
was
like their casualty percent like ratio is just really weird for what their team is. And if it continues, I mean, if it continues, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Um, it probably won't. It'll probably revert to the mean.
yeah. That was the note that I had from this was, because there's not too much to say when it's this lopsided.
Yeah.
Like Nuffle just like, I don't know. Yeah.
It helps that he gets a lot of blocks, right? Like 48
Yes.
blocks succeeded for an elf team is a
Yeah.
hell of a lot. And it's
Right.
because, and you could look at all of his pieces, unless, except for that kicker or the guy who wrote doubles for guard,
Mm-hmm.
it's like if a piece is going to level up, he's going to give it block. This
Yep.
is a surprisingly dodge light elf team
Yep.
and a very block heavy elf team,
Yep.
and he uses it to like really, really take advantage of teams that aren't built like that.
Yeah. He uses it really, really well.
And he's got
Um,
a little lucky on the armor breaks. I would say a little lucky, but it's also just smart play of getting a lot of good blocks.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was noticing. So even early on with this, like, so to position so that you're ready to take advantage of scoring in whatever quickness that is available to you, and setting up blocks that are advantageous for you to take, like, I feel like they're doing very well with that, and it's evidenced by, yeah, the amount of successful blocks that they got, and I think that key balance of aggressiveness while still like very much playing to win.
Mm. Yeah, agreed.
So, yes, the
Well, I guess one other small point just as a setup that rookie thrower, Marion Ellenway, that was a new purchase for this. There'd been a niggled rookie lineman who just got fired and replaced
mm,
with that. So
uh,
it's a team that's got plenty of cash and has been doing a nice job sort of maintaining healthy players.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So being smart with how they're being aggressive, which will be interesting to see like how that works out for them in the next match.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we'll get to that. Yeah. So before we move on, we have our uh, potentially weekly feature. We've done it twice in a row now of what we learned this week.
Oh, I was gonna say one last thing about this specific match.
Sure.
In regards to like there was some like unfortunate things that resulted in it being like say straight 4-0. Like it was a snake eye GFI that kept the
Mm,
high elves from getting theirs like at least one score. And
yeah.
so like I think it was very much like good play on Kyle clearly took advantage of like all of his opportunities,
Yeah.
but there's also just some kind of lousy luck that made it quite this lopsided.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we saw like the final score come in on like they had kicked the ball, uh, and yeah, like peak altitude couldn't even pick up the ball to do a vanity pass. The pros were back there, took the ball from him, and scored in turn 16 to make it four
Just
nothing.
really ugly.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, you have our what we learned this week.
Yeah. So this again, these are just kind of bits and bobs. Something that we think was interesting from the week, and in this case, that thing was us. So we took this match on as a replay stream, and I think what we learned is, if I can get this thing to work right, uh, don't stream a replay when there's only 2 turns left in a match,
Mhm.
because then you're just watching the replay. Um, yeah, don't stream a replay that's lopsided. because there's not much to comment on. Uh, Everything just happened really fast, and it was just like a lot of really terrible things happening to one team.
Yeah, it was really just us reacting. There was no analysis. It was just
Yeah,
like,
it's
oh
like,
God,
oh
what's
god,
happening?
oh no. And finally, probably just don't stream a replay you haven't seen. Period. Um, I think it's one thing if you kind of know where things are going to like then like set stuff up in the
Mhm.
commentary, but to like try to stream a replay and like have real reactions, things are just happening too fast. At least that was my final takeaway from it. And
I agree with that. I think with two of us where we couldn't like, it would have been so impractical to try to like pause and be like, let's think about this
yeah,
turn for a second.
yeah, yep, yep, yep. Um,
It's being pointed out there is in fact a Sterling and Tainted Brewers match starting right now.
yep,
If you want to go watch that live instead of this, that's fine with us. Do what you will.
yeah.
Uh,
We
this is
wish
going to
we
go
could
for a
be
bit
there.
longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the match of the week, and it's starting right now, so we'll probably catch that on Tainted Brewers VOD or whatnot. I
Yeah.
think Clown Cthulhu actually streams sometimes too. But anyways, back to the recap and our next match.
Yeah, it looks like Clown Thulu has a stream up.
Cool. Yeah, we'll be able to see both sides. Um, all right. So our next match was Goatwork Orange versus the Skaven Rat Rodents.
Yeah.
Which,
Nice win by Chalksports here.
yeah. And this one, I think we were predicting to be a little bit of an uphill for the
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Skaven, but Khemri.
Yeah.
They're the team that I have the hardest with. I always
Mhm.
just want to say
Well, it's in there
their
three
name
times.
3 times, and then all the pieces. Um,
So I do
yeah,
appreciate.
yeah, but they did go. They did go with what we suggested for inducements, which always makes me a little
Mhm.
excited. Didn't work out for them, so
I
now
didn't. Yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. Yeah. I mean, it made sense. The problem was that like they got like out positioned and outmanned so fast
Mm-hmm.
that there just wasn't good quality hits for them.
Yep. Yep.
Um, yeah, Rathu dies very early on, but gets better, fortunately. But that
Mm.
means he's out for the half.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one thing that was sort of an interesting play, um, that there were some chaos players over on one side of the field, and there was a commitment of two Tomb Guardians to try to
Mm-hmm.
pin them against a sideline
Yeah.
when there's already like a Tomb Guardian off the field,
Oh.
which meant that there was one Tomb Guardian to try to actually like stop the progression of the offense from the chaos.
Yeah.
And that just left like the center of the field open for Goatwork Orange to advance, and which they did do. And if you watch his stream, he like spotted this. He's like, okay, well, we're just going to walk up here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was interesting that they walked up without the ball. It was basically moving up a number of pieces to control the field, but leaving Little Unf in the back, which works because
Huh.
Little Unf is move 7
Yeah.
and has dodge and AG4, and so it can like advance really quickly.
Yeah. And
And he did eventually bring him up once there was going to be a little more progression.
mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if that was like an attempt to like maybe lure some Khemri back or just leave open options, but would just make it
Yeah.
absolutely impossible to blitz him.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it certainly
especially
worked
as
out. And he brought
Khemri.
him up fast enough
Yeah.
that it worked out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Khemri can pretty safely uh, just kind of hang out.
And yeah, by the end of the Chaos Drive, there's only 4 Khemri left on the field,
Oof.
which is how Clownfish got his level. They were able to that Chalkspurs was able to get him the ball.
Nice. Yeah, I think I
And
saw.
Chalkspurs pointed out he used no bribes and in fact got a 4th bribe during the match
No.
because it's a bribe stadium, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
And so,
god.
Go Work Orange made much better use of theirs.
Well, it's a bribe stadium, but so like he got a 4th bribe through a kickoff event too.
Yeah, exactly. That it
Yeah.
was
Jeez.
bought to 3rd from the stadium, 4th for a kickoff event.
Yeah. Which yeah, I think I saw part of. I saw part of this match, and yeah, I saw the foul by Goatwork Orange that worked pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, spotting. There's Tomb Guardians on the ground. Let's get them off. There's
Mm-hmm.
anything that's useful. Let's bring a foul in on it.
Yeah. Might have been a foul that took out Ultra Craig. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
But yeah. Um, yeah, so that was the
But
first half, and then Kemery got the
yeah,
ball, and they were just down too far.
yeah. Well, actually, they were actually 11 for their drive because a number of the removals were
Oh,
KOs, and they do have a
oh,
bench. Um, but yeah, basically, the Camry have trouble picking up the ball, um,
uh,
which is going to happen.
yeah.
But Troxburgh moves a little umph up, like around the side, just like in the area of the ball,
Mm-hmm.
with a little defense, and he gets, little umph gets a chance. He swoops it, he grabs it,
Oh
and
man.
takes it to 2-0.
Wow.
I didn't see the last quarter, I will admit, because Troxburgh's stream kind of like junked out, and
Oh yeah.
this was me watching it on a replay, like after the fact. And so like I
Mm,
knew the result was 2-0. I'd seen the first two touchdowns.
yeah.
It seemed like there wasn't going to be any more meaningful damage, and so I kind of just let it go. So given he's in the chat, um, if there's anything truly exciting, he can let us know. But it was just like a nice win on his part. He took,
Yeah. Took
I
some
think Craig picked
damage
up
though.
over committed to one side at one point.
Mm,
Chalksburg responded really well to that, got his touchdown, and then got a little lump in position when there was a problem for the Kemery handling the ball, which is going to happen to Kemery,
yeah. Yeah.
and took good advantage for the 2-0 win.
Yeah. Did take a couple MNGs though. But
Yeah, not on critical pieces, but on pieces you'd like to have,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and two levels, and those are both going to be Mighty
Yeah.
Blow. Which I was wondering what those were going to be. I don't mind Mighty Blow at all, particularly considering you've already got two guard warriors
Yeah.
and two guard beastmen,
Yeah.
and it'll hopefully keep their development running.
Yeah, I mean, I think the rest of the division probably minds the Mighty Blow. But yeah, it's
Yeah, and it's not such a guard heavy division because of all the
no.
agility teams.
Yeah. Well, and he's got some guard beastmen that are
Right, that's the
kind of
thing. He's got
nice.
four guard already. He doesn't need the fifth right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Though, yeah, I guess you could probably.
Circus peanuts stand for him. So I
Oh.
interesting. So I would swear I saw the opposite on, but I mean, the guy. I'm sure the guy knows his own team.
Well, that's what I was gonna say about Circus Peanut, because it has dodge.
Oh, he changed the order of the pieces in the. That's what's going on there.
Oh.
If you swap the order, I didn't notice because there was a rearranged ordering. So yes, actually, I like Stand Firm better. That if he had not taken a level, I would have suggested Stand Firm.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I would have suggested Guard, but Guard Stand Firm is more important for that piece than the damage dealing skills of Mighty Blow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, apologies because this sheet and the future Go Work One sheet will both be wrong. That Circus Peanut should be
Oh,
Stand.
he orders it by SPP. Oh
I'll
man.
have to keep an eye on that. I don't mind that.
You're
It's just
gonna break Sir Kodiak's brain.
it's another check I got to do because I basically I check to make sure they're all right by looking at the last skills are all right because it's a simple way to do it that's
Mm-hmm.
fast because it saves me time
Yeah.
and I will be able to do that with this team apparently.
Yeah.
And that's
Plus,
okay.
yeah, that's fine. Especially if Troxburg hangs out in chat and lets us know.
Correct. Yeah, so that will be corrected for the cast next week.
Yeah.
And yeah, does look like we're seeing both Pimp Imp and Clown Thulu streaming that
Excellent.
match. So I'll have to get them synced up and then side by side.
Yeah. There's a way to do that, but yeah. Look forward to watching that. Um, but yeah, I don't mind staying firm on that, and yeah, we don't need to, I guess, beat that to death. But I definitely like going that route versus like a mighty blow because you already started to build it like a utility warrior.
Yeah, I mean, it's a piece you can never take Claw on because you need Guard Stand Firm on him,
Mm-hmm.
and you would always take Mighty Blow before Claw.
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't have been the end of the world
Yeah.
to do Stand Firm, to do Mighty Blow.
Mm-hmm.
But I very much approve of Stand Firm. He needs Guard next then.
Yeah. 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 For sure. Cool. All right. Moving on, or is there any other comments?
That's it. Now, if you hear clicking in the background, that's me fixing the sheet. So that would be right for next time.
I do. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is Tainted Brewers versus Silkwood City Slickers. Uh,
Mm.
and this has been going on for all these sheets, but I do like and appreciate your addition to change the team colors. Change the team names to match their uniform colors. That comes across really well in this one for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
But this match, I watched a little bit of this, and there is a big moment that we actually have a video clip of that
So yeah, we
I
should
think,
just go right into that.
yeah, I think we're going to do this. This one's brought to you by Rusty C. Butter himself, and this is a Punchman's highlight.
You see it your way, I see it my way. Why don't we just agree? It's oh so simple, it's easy as can be. You've got a high note, I've got a low note. Can't we try harmony? It's oh so simple, it's easy as can be. Why?
I love the end of that video where the camera just takes a nosedive into the ground. Uh, that's pretty good.
Follow him into hell, where all war dancers belong.
Yeah. Yeah, so this was I think this was actually a moment towards the end of the or middle of the second half. Maybe even early on in the second half, but a moment in which uh, it was kind of unfortunate on piled on top of unfortunate
Yeah,
because in if you watch the stream you saw Pimp Imp and Ravenpo chatting, and Ravenpo had actually meant to blitz with that first war dancer, but forgot
the strip ball one.
the strip ball one, yeah, but forgot to. And with it marked up, decided, well, we're still just gonna go for this,
Mm.
and then yes, it all came tumbling after with the failed dodge through tackle, and then
Yeah,
the failed leap, and
really unfortunate.
dead Apo dead on top of that. Yeah, just
It's such a nice piece, right? Like
yeah,
really, really nicely built for not that role, right? Not for diving into cages. Really built for like
right.
sideline enforcement, a strength four frenzy guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is. Oh man. Yeah, so you're just trying to like salvage something, putting a piece in danger that you usually use for something else, and have it go so wrong is got to be frustrating. Even if we're all we're all Blood Bowl coaches, we all love to see what elves die, but
Yeah,
uh, it's almost a thing where it's like not like this
yeah. And Ravenpo's been having a
almost.
bit of a hard time of it so far this season, and
Yeah,
is a coach who came in to like rescue the div from a missing coach. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like it's
yeah,
unfortunate he's kind of taking it on the chin so much.
yeah. This was their second match. Um, yeah, because the first week we just had a couple admin teams tie themselves, and then they came in as a last minute replacement. They had skipped last season and came back. And yeah, I'm sure this doesn't feel too good. Though they did get 3 levels out of this, and
Yeah,
I don't think they played poorly. Just
no,
their bullshit didn't work. Whereas Tana Brewers has been playing very solid positioning game and continued to do that for this match.
yeah, and is less reliant on bullshit. Is able to just like grind, and you need to have like the elves be able to do something crazy to them
Yep.
to be able
Yep.
to win, and it did not work, and instead it went disastrous.
Do you happen to catch how the wizard went in this? I don't. I didn't.
Hmm.
I did not see it. I don't think they might have done a fireball at some
I
point.
have nothing in my notes about the wizard.
Yeah.
No, I do. The wizard doesn't accomplish much for the elves. Is
Okay.
whatever he did. I have no contextual context for that.
Yeah. That's. I
Uh,
mean, that's fair. It
I think it
obviously
just didn't.
didn't.
I think it was a wizard, a fireball that just didn't knock down enough.
Right. Where you could have used like 2 pieces knocked over. It would have been fine.
Yeah,
Um. Yeah. So I think this one took the form of a pretty standard 2-1 grind. Um, I'm guessing it was pretty tense in the first half with the again with the wizard being out there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And if I were to comment on Pim Pim's play, which I thought he played a good game, I did think he had an issue where he let like a couple blockers get caught up on the tree for a really, really long time,
Mm.
and just really unproductive. And because it's a grab tree,
Oh
it
yeah.
can like even if it gets stuck gets stuck in place, it takes root. It could just keep sliding them next to him.
Yeah.
And there was a point at which, particularly once it took root, I would have been like, yeah, you know what, a dodge is 4+. And if it
Yeah.
fails, at least you're not on the tree anymore.
Right.
Just like leave it there. And it can be a real, I mean, he did fine, but it can be a real trap to let your pieces get caught up on a tree.
Yeah.
Particularly where like as Nurgle, I'll sometimes do it because I can do claw hits on it.
And
And I've got like strength 4 that it's at least a little bit easier to get up to like a good hit. And actually killing a tree is pretty nice. But even then, it's not. I try to keep out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, as Tim Nelson pointed out, the ground doesn't have mighty blow.
Right.
So and he kept taking hits on those on the blockers and getting knocked down. And so you could have soaked one hitting the ground on each of them, and it would have been less bad.
Yeah.
Than what he was going up against.
Was he standing up blockers even when the tree was like rooted?
Yeah, just like right next to them. He just like, I'll stand up right next to him.
No.
And then he'd do an uphill, and it wouldn't work out, and it'd be like a push. And so the tree would just be there.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes, I'm sure, frustration that he wasn't getting it down, since it would go down on, both down. It was a 1 in 4 to knock it down each uphill.
Right.
But 1 in 4 is not that amazing. You can't be that frustrated that doesn't work.
Yeah. And then counterpoint, you just get mighty blowed in the face if it really doesn't work.
Yeah, and I think one of them was Grincha, that nice stand firm guy.
Oh, wow.
That's a real nice. It was like that and like one of the normal guard guys, I believe.
Ooh.
And like that's too much to get caught up.
It? Yeah. Yeah. I think I saw their bull centaurs got kind of separated from the pack a little bit, and the wood elves weren't shy about fouling.
No. Yeah, that's the 2 expulsions both on the wood elf team.
Yeah. Which appreciate the
Classic Larry, I think, was like at the very end of the match, as retribution for Jack Palang's being taken out.
Yeah.
Just a mega foul.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I would do. Yeah, but
I'm curious what my alcoholism has now. Presumably, it's already been selected since Pim Pim is playing this game. I would do more Dirty Player, but that's just me.
Second one, yeah, maybe. Yeah, and be curious to see like what the City Slickers get for their levels. Yeah, you want that catcher. Catcher, you love. I mean, any of these pieces you probably love an agility.
Yeah.
Or a strength up to replace your warning. Well, maybe not the thrower, but yeah. I mean, those are all 3 good pieces to get levels on, so that's at least a consolation prize. But I don't know. That war dancer was so nice.
Yeah, he's gonna take a long time to rebuild. Anything even closer.
Yeah, definitely. All right, ready to move on?
Yep.
Oh yeah, this one. Oh gosh. This one's kind of harrowing to relive a little bit. But I will do my best.
Yeah, it didn't go quite the way you'd want.
No, but at one point it went better than I feel like I deserved.
One of those matches where like there were at different points in the match you could be like, oh, I think so and so's probably got this wrapped up.
Yeah.
And it could have been anybody.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, so this one I was I don't think I started out super nervous about this, but I ended up getting pretty nervous because the combination of that 1 turn got a runner and a wizard just had me so worked up. And like the first half I chose to kick, I wanted to get the Skaven to score pretty quickly, which they did. There was a chance, I did have a sack opportunity on their ball, which, popped the ball free with strip ball, but then didn't have a clear recovery, and so settled back, and their one turner just took it in from there. Um, Kind of had a debate because I had a sidestep piece that could have like, completely blocked an area off, but I was a little worried that if I got into the scrum, um, that I would be a little at a disadvantage the way things were set up because I had some pieces on the other side of the pitch because they had moved to one side pretty quickly. And so I didn't like go full on with my sidestep in the way. I just kind of like made it an inconvenience, and he got through pretty quickly. So he scored pretty quick, and then on offense, again, that's when I started getting really nervous about the Wizard, and I was positioned pretty awkwardly for dealing with gutter runners, and they managed to get a one die blitz on the ball, and we traded removals. I got Storm Vermin badly hurt, and they got a Ulf KO'd, but left a one die open. They took it, and why wouldn't they? And managed to get my ball carrier down. But thankfully, I got a good scatter out of that and was able to recover, screen off, and I had to stall until turn 8, which was, I think, the height of my anxiety, because it's looking at that one turner, looking at the clock, so to speak, and just like, I have to figure out a way to hold this. When I think any other team where I would have scored in turn 7, and they would have had one turn to score.
It's tough, and it's one of those things where this Skaven team is really underdeveloped, and we've talked about that. If you could only pick one piece to have 2 levels on a like a poorly developed Skaven team, it would be a gutter runner with a move up and sprint.
Absolutely,
because it totally changes the game. And
absolutely,
it's something that this is a match I cast. So if you kind of want my opinions on it, you could watch that. Not suggesting you watch a full 2-hour cap, but it's just like I spent some time in there wondering, like, okay, this is all great. What do you do about that guy?
Yeah, and that was the thing. And I don't remember, like, he was able to keep him off the pitch for the most part. There was, I think by the time the second half rolled around, he did have to field him at that point because some KOs didn't come back. But I didn't have a clear shot at him. I got a shot at a couple of the other gutter runners, and I took those and was like, yeah, that other one will be there, and it wasn't. Because what happened was, after all my caution in the first half about the Wizard, I just straight up caged on turn 10 for a fireball, perfect fireball.
Yeah.
If you were streaming it, and I don't remember your cast for this point, but
no, I was like, I wonder if we're gonna see the fireball here.
Yeah.
And then there's a fireball.
I was like, I wonder if I just baited him into the fireball, and then I was like, does it count as a bait if I didn't really want him to fireball?
Yeah, this is you hanging upside down from the tree with the rope around your ankle, being like, got you exactly where I want you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and so I mean, the only silver lining on that point of the drive was that I just KO'd the Roger, which was pretty annoying, actually. I know a lot of people knock the Roger, but without much else going on for you, they're pretty freaking annoying. So I just KO'd that, so I felt a little bit good about that. But the fireball comes in, 4 knockdowns, including the ball carrier, 3 removals, and the other one was stunned or something like that.
Though not the scariest fireball we've seen this week.
No. Yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, so they were able to get the ball pretty easily. They managed to score. I had one shot at the ball and snaked a GFI that I was using to set up a 3-die on the gutter runner because I didn't really have tackle. So they managed to score, and then I was able to score on the other half of the second half, and in part because they played that other half pretty aggressively. They didn't leave any pieces back to really, they went after the ball. They wanted the ball and they wanted to win, which isn't too bad. But I was able to sneak up the sideline, get enough pieces free that I could stall until my turn 16, which wasn't too hard because half was already gone, and then just pray to Nuffle for everything for the one turn to fail, and it did.
Yeah, that was such a huge moment. That's like just couldn't get there.
Yeah, I was freaking out because I there's a couple things that I was really kicking myself on. The failed GFI to get the ball back. I felt like I could have just taken the 2 die and like been okay with that. Yeah, it just it felt like a frustrating match, especially with like setting up for the fireball after being so careful the first half and then getting such removals out of it, or them getting so many removals out of it. But then, them snaking a GFI at the very end. I felt extremely lucky. And I wouldn't say not too much else. I think the removals were, I don't know, kind of okay-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. The half of the amount of armor breaks, same amount of KOs is like bog standard for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a well played match. Again, like you alluded to, like they don't have much development, but with a natural one turner running around, it is a whole different dimension to play against one of those, and I really haven't had too much experience with Norse against one, at least played like this.
I don't know what you do. Like I know what you do as Nurgle against them, because I can just put, disturbing presence everywhere, right? And just be like, I'm going to make it hard for you to get the ball. I can make that a 3+, maybe a 4+ if I, if I'm lucky.
Right.
And I don't know what you do as Norse.
Yeah. Yeah. I tried to put.
And you were in an unfortunate position where you didn't have enough pieces to do the full, 11-man line along the back by the end.
Yeah.
And that at least would have forced some hard dodges.
Yeah. Yeah. They did take the harder route, but the route didn't end up being the problem. Just because they try, let's go after the tackle guy. Oh, we didn't get the tackle guy down. Now you got to dodge through tackle.
I talked about that in the cast, that like you could have switched to the other side of the field.
Yeah.
Though it was irrelevant. He didn't spend a reroll.
No. Yeah, that didn't end up being where the reroll went, and he did have good.
Just to be clear on this, the situation was he blitzed forward to create a hole so he didn't have to do any dodges, but because it was a both down situation, the pieces stayed where they were, so that forced a dodge through.
Yeah.
And there would have been a way to do it to avoid having to have that be against tackle.
Right. Yeah, could have done that both down on the other side of the pitch and been okay.
Yeah.
I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. And good on them for not using their reroll in that moment, because that's a moment where you're like, let me just let this counter go down, and I'll let the frustration out some other way. Because that would have been tough. Cool. Yeah. Glad to have that over with. What do I got next?
I just want MVP on the Rat Ogre. If you got one, be nice to get another level up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, my MVP wasn't that great, but I was looking for a replacement lineman anyway, so.
True. But I think we got one match left, and this is, I think, one where you have a video.
Yes, yeah. So, it's partially inspired by, it's pretty much inspired by Rusty's video. Was half thinking when I'd seen both Wood Elf results, and some of the stuff that happened in both, was thinking about a compilation between the two, but Rusty beat me to it on the other match, and so just did a video for this one. Check it out. Hopefully this works. Yeah, so that one,
That's
uh,
a rough one.
yeah, that was rough. So yeah, I wanted to bring about a little homage to the trees that have fallen. Trees being the elf names, but yeah, from the jump, that was Nuffle just kind of like leaving a little carrot on the stick and then yanking it away.
Yeah, we've talked about how nice David Leclerc's team is, and it's actually still pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
It still has more stat ups than most teams, but
Yeah,
this was a rough one.
yeah, yeah. So what we saw in the first part of the video was uh, turn one blitz that David Leclerc got, and Flyboys didn't have any setup against it. He was completely in the center column. It didn't have anybody on the side, so they didn't have. They had all the room in the world to set up along that left side where the kick was going. And yeah, set up a nice little cage, and that's when Flyboys was like, well, screw that. Here's a wizard. And I think we did stream this match, and
Yes.
it was like the sort of wizard where you're like, outside of the results, obviously the results were very good for Kleptonite there, but there was also like two Wood Elves right behind there that like you could have like shifted the fireball any which way and had like some really juicy targets. It was I like if my fireball bait was fireball bait. This was like the ultimate because I think he had like all his agility players in there pretty much, and the war dancers, and then
yeah. He got really David Leclerc got really aggressive responding to the blitz, and it meant he had all of his good pieces right next to each other.
Yeah.
And fireball could have been like it hit none of them, right? Like that happens.
Yeah.
But instead that's not what happens. Instead, just an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're using your Apo at on the like turn 0 essentially.
Yeah.
And that right when you're facing a team that has a good amount of mighty blow, not a ton of tackle, but still, it's not a team that also wants to, dance around you. They want to make their mark because they're playing the bash angle. And while the war dancer getting hurt wasn't on anything like that, just a nice little leap into the cage that failed. But we did see Walnut die to a punch, or Chestnut. Chestnut, sorry.
Yeah.
This was again, this one we both streamed, so I think we said a lot of our thoughts during the stream, but after that blitz, it did not feel like much went David Leclerc's way, though he did manage to score it, which was like a really wild, like he had his war dancer on the sideline at one point. This was the strip ball war dancer because I think Walnut might have been out by that point. And he was just like, well, I'm just going to get a touchdown. And that was like the only spot that nobody could blitz, maybe. It was pretty close. And yeah, so they managed to two-turn pretty quick on their drive.
Yeah. And he does have a level now, so that's nice.
Yeah. So, got him strip ball, sidestep. To go with the strip ball, and
so you can stand on the sidelines more next time.
Yeah, that's what I was like, inspired maybe by its line of play. I don't know, but yeah, that's definitely good. Though whoever has them next week, it's gonna have two of like their 3 best pieces not on the field.
Yeah.
And. Yeah, I think Flyboys played pretty well, though I did note, and I remember this pretty well from the stream because I harped on it probably way too much. Really wanted to see him get the most out of that chainsaw, and I don't feel like he was doing that.
Yeah, that was definitely a thing we talked about, where the chainsaw was used as like cage corners, were just standard marking pieces when there was, I think, opportunities to foul with him and really drive up the player advantage after that nice fireball
Yeah.
started the job of getting pieces off the field.
Right. Yeah, we're not even saying like then he could have killed more of David's team. It's just more like
No.
the Apo's gone, get some badly hurts. Like just
Yeah.
get pieces off the pitch forever. Because even though I'm sure it was super demoralizing, there's still like a couple other agility 5 pieces out there ready to steal the ball and do other stuff, and it's still Woodhouse. So
Yeah. And the thing with Helmut Wolf is you have him on for your drive. He's leaving at the end of the drive because you got no bribe.
yeah.
So it's not like, oh, I don't want to go down a piece. You're going to go down that piece soon enough anyways.
Right. Yeah. So especially as it got later on, you just
Yeah.
kind of expected it to only be doing that and only be looking for that. And it did like shift a little bit towards the end, I think. We did see him go back to fouling with it, but kind of towards the middle where their L's were kind of scattered and some were on the pitch would have been nice, or would have liked to see get all your money's worth.
Yeah, a little more aggressive, but still, good match. Congrats
Yeah.
to Klepto Knight.
Yeah.
Got to feel good about that win.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Ready to move into our next section?
Yep.
So, wanted to take a look at the leaderboard now that we're 3 matches in. And
It's still early. Anything can still happen at this point. No one's locked into a specific position, but 3 matches is enough, I think, to be interesting in terms of where are people at? Who are the people you need to be looking at and saying, I need to beat this person, or I need to make a good run at beating this person if I want to have a great season.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, you want to... This is another thing Kodiak worked up, and I really like the look of it. But, yeah, do you want to walk us through it?
So the basic idea is that it's just tracking how many points each team has accumulated week to week. So x-axis is weeks, y-axis is points. Each team, the parentheses after it, that indicates their TD differential. And in general, like I'm placing the line for a team's path over another one's if they're currently higher ranked. So you see Sterling Hornets just like rocketing up to 9 straight path.
Yeah.
Tainted Brewers hidden behind them. They've also both the same path, but they've got 5 less touchdown differential.
Yeah.
Sterling Hornets has been killing it. And yeah, so we can see we got a nice spread here. Teams all over the place. And yeah, I think basically the takeaway from this would be look at Sterling Hornets, look at Tainted Brewers. They're actually playing this week, so probably watch that. And look at like I need to win that match. When is that match coming up, and how do I need to build my team to like get through that? Because if you're say you or Goblins.deck and you're actually looking to like be the number 1 team this season, your path is starting to look like it might have to go through them.
Yeah. Each of those teams undefeated. Obviously, both of them can't win this coming week. But yeah, that I think that's a good way to look at it. And also, like you can look at the point spread, and it's not insurmountable for any team, I would say.
No.
It may
like Silkwood City Slickers needs to start winning, but if they start winning, they can do it.
Yeah. For teams that have taken, that have been beat up quite a bit, it might feel a little tougher or be lacking in the development range, which I think is most of the teams at the bottom there.
Yes.
Cross of the Empire might be the only exception because they do also fall in line with the stat up teams, but they're not far behind things.
Yeah, that's actually and we certainly talk, and this is we like generally holds true. We talk a lot about like our teams winning, who's going to win, how are you doing in terms of the standings. There are going to be teams playing this season, and I had a season like this. I actually had 2 seasons like this where I'm like, it's first 2 seasons, Nurgle. I'm not going to win this. I just want development. I just want to play my games, play some good Blood Bowl, have some fun, improve my team, and that's fine. We're not saying that there's anything wrong with a development season. It's a smart choice a lot of the time.
Yeah. And yeah, you can still kind of develop and go for wins too.
Yes. Well, because you might say want to develop and then be in Div 3 next season.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think with way the new tier system is set up, it does predicate on not just growing your team, but also putting together a decent season, which I think is an interesting consideration that we now all have to make. But yeah, this looks good, and we get to see all the colors. This is great.
Right.
Really impressed with the spread.
We have a very, very colorful division.
Yeah. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, and that's people's uniform colors, just for reference.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Yeah, like we've kind of said, Hornets and Brewers are definitely our top two teams, and it's indicated there with 3 wins for each. And I like how the TD differential is kind of there. You can see how that might play into it. Again, in 4D, we're only looking at 1 playoff spot and 1 Challenger Cup spot. So if you are in the race for those, or you're looking to be in the race for those, it is can be a bit tricky. Just because it's hard to stay on the top, because people are going to start paying attention and watching your matches and looking for holes in your game.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll be tracking this week to week, so just expect to see a version of this each week that's got one more column to the right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Thanks for putting this together.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Well, let's move into next week then.
Yeah.
As the week has already gotten into the next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, first up, we have Cross of the Empire versus Goatwork Orange, which is scheduled for tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. I believe Troxburgs will be streaming that unless his stream is continuing to act up. Yes,
and I actually meant to mention this during the review of his previous game, but he mentioned this on his stream for his match. Turned 50 this week, so
that's right.
Happy birthday to Troxburgs.
Yeah.
Big 5-0. And admittedly, in Blood Bowl, we care more about 51 than 50. So it's going to be another year before you get that precious level 5. But still, pretty good year.
Yeah. We'd sing the happy birthday song, but then I'm sure Twitch would take us down. Yeah, well, that too.
Okay, yeah, actually, that's true. Yeah.
For content and for quality. But yeah, so this could be interesting. We've been down on Across the Empire a little bit on their. I think after their second loss was when we saw some weirdness in their defense, where they were half committing to the cage dive and half committing to staying way back. I will admit their last match against the Orcs kind of started like that, but then the Orcs brought the fight to them, and it was just all scrum all the time. And so it'll be interesting to see if they can do that in the face of, I'd say, all this mighty blow, but I guess there's one less mighty blow than is on the sheet as Troxburgs.
That's true, yes. As a reminder, Circus Peanut has Stand Firm.
Yeah, that's still 4 mighty blow, which I think...
Plenty of mighty blow against Davey 7.
Yeah, I think Mean Green and Thick had 2, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not on the pieces that were necessarily just standing there waiting to get marked. It wasn't on the Black Orcs, is what I'm saying. It was on your Strength 3 pieces. So, yeah.
And no tackle for the Chaos team, but that's okay because there's only 1 dodge piece on the Pro Elf team.
Yep. Yeah, because Tabalon is going to be out for the match. So they'll have 2 Journeymen and 240 in cash.
God, what a brutalized piece. Armor busted, niggled, moved down.
I didn't realize it was niggled. Huh.
Yeah, that was on the previous sheet. I only discovered that when I investigated this sheet. I have to move it on to the previous one.
That's okay. Holy crap. Yeah, we need to fire that piece. Had
a rough life.
Yeah. Well, it now makes a lot more sense how it got injured so quickly. But, so, I don't know, 240 in cash for Cross of the Empire. Can they make anything out of this that'll keep them
obviously buy a wizard. Of course you buy a wizard. And then you got 90 It's tough because you'd like to spend 10 to make it 100,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like there's maybe because you're saving up for a blitzer.
Mm-hmm. Though
Maybe, maybe you are. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're just gonna be
yeah,
like, I'm gonna ride this guy till he dies.
yeah,
There's an argument for that. So maybe you do that for having extra Apo.
yeah,
If not, you do a
yeah,
bloodlust.
right. Yeah, I think you're right. It'll be some combination of it. Keep in mind they did spend down to bottom last match. They spent 40 on a babe for the
Fair. So
last
yeah,
match.
I would not if they're willing to do that again. I would not mind a wizard and an apothecary. The wizard I think is essential. Like I
Yeah.
don't see anything around that.
Yep. Definitely. It's orcs. Well, I was gonna.
It's
Oh wait,
chaos,
it's chaos. Yeah.
but yeah, so not very fast.
Uh,
And it's this, and this is something that Chalksbirds has talked about on his stream. So I'll go ahead and put that right out here on this. Terrified of taking a lightning bolt on Little Unf.
So will he be?
So
So he'll probably be carrying on something else.
he'll carry on what he wants to level on. And this
Mm,
is actually something I'll do against a wizard. Is I've got like it's not built like Little Unf, but I think it is
yeah.
a nice ball carrier. Um,
Yeah.
got less specials than him, but like I will have that piece retrieve it, bring it up to where I want the cage to be, put like some other beast, for me a pestic or for him a beastman that I want to level in the center,
Mm,
and then just like hand off to him.
yeah.
And frankly, if it hits the ground, as long as you have things set up well enough,
Yeah.
you maybe don't even have to re-roll it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
And then you have little Untank basically in the area to go collect the ball if the lightning bolt
Yep.
knocks it down, but they can't get it free and move away.
Yeah. Yeah. This one, I think this will be a fun match. It'll just depend on elf armor as far as how long it's going to be fun. Because
Yeah.
as we talked about before, across the Empire, uh, shows no fear and also just like puts all his elves everywhere. Even like he was marking stuff with guard that he didn't have to, and it was like, okay, well, sure,
I think it's going to be hard for him this match because Troxbirds is I think a very good like nuts and bolts Blood Bowl player.
mm-hmm.
Like he
Yeah,
talks about being like a middling coach on his
mm-hmm.
stream, and all that. But I think he's very good at the like at that sort of positioning game of just like, okay, this person made the mistake. How do I go ahead and move my pieces to take advantage of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And if Pandito does that, then I think he could really end up taking a lot of damage as
yeah,
those mighty blow pieces just start hitting. And with
yeah,
so little dodge, it's a 2+ to get away, and some of those are going to fail.
yeah. Yeah, I will say what you just described is pretty much how their last match went. It
Yeah,
just the orcs couldn't get them on the ground for one reason or the other, and when they did, they didn't break. So
so
I think as we already said, there's more mighty blow on Go Work Orange's side, so don't expect. And it was very low the amount of breaks and removals that the orcs were getting. So I would say, yeah, if you're across the Empire, don't expect that to happen this time.
yeah,
Cool, but yeah, I mean, it's elves, and elves have a wizard, so
yeah. And it should be exciting. And Troxberg puts on a good stream
yep,
if you
yep,
haven't seen it. Just really entertaining, a lot of energy and presence, and so I would recommend it.
yep, definitely, definitely. All right. Next up is the match that's happening now.
Yeah, the match of the week that's already going on,
Yeah. Dang
and
it.
you might be catching this later because you decided to go watch that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I couldn't blame you.
Cannot
I'd
blame
rather
it
be
at
watching it
all.
than doing this.
Same. Um, no, this is great.
Yeah, this is
Uh,
good. This is good.
here's an interesting fact that I didn't realize was happening. Tana Brewers is getting inducement money out of this.
Yes, there is no universe in which is that is not a bribe.
Yeah.
If I like go and watch this stream and he's like, I think I need an extra apothecary against these elves.
Or two babes.
Like
Let me get two babes.
my neighbors will hear a crashing sound as the chair gets thrown across the room.
Yeah, there's no way, right?
Yeah, he's got one dirty player piece at least. I think he should have two dirty player pieces.
Yeah.
You just gotta it's in its AV7, you gotta foul these elves.
Yeah. Unless the only reason I would say not that is if you got doubles, in which you get guard, probably.
Oh, sure. Yes, yes. If you got doubles, yeah, you take that. There's like, I'm just talking about like a normal skill up.
Yeah.
I don't think a kicker is worth much of anything on a Chaos Dwarfs team.
No.
And so I would treat a Hobbo like I treat a Rotter, where it's like, yeah, this is a dude who gets 30 player and then he dies. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this is number 2 team versus number 1 team. And if you kill a piece
man.
or you do serious damage, you not only increase your odds of winning the game and getting to first place, you might cripple the team for the rest of the season and encourage other people to beat the team. And so like damage is like doubly important in this match compared to like any other Pimp Imp has had so far.
Yeah. Which, yeah, we'll talk about damage in a minute. But I think it's really interesting. Sorry, Gujira just hopped in. We already covered your the match that you played, but we haven't gone over the match that you're going to play.
Yeah, your match is the match you're going to do this week is 2 more in the future.
Yeah. But yeah, what was I saying? So, I think I completely lost my train of thought. I mean, one point I was going to make is that we do have Sterling Hornets, a pro elf team that has in 3 games 9 casualties. They've inflicted 9 casualties, taken 5, whereas the Chaos Dwarfs have only done 3 and taken 3.
Yeah, Pimp Pimp has been really frustrated with his ability to do damage this season, justifiably, given his team. So yeah, if this is a match where it continues this way, then I think Sterling Hornets are going to win.
Yeah.
Like if he's out removing the Chorfs,
yeah,
then he's going to win this match.
Yeah,
I think this is a very likely week where that reverses, because this is a really nice Chorf team for going up against these elves.
Yeah, exactly. I remember what I was going to say, because you had made the point about how, yeah, if damage done in this is actually good for you, whereas like I think other generally speaking, and that is true, right? But sometimes you think, oh, if I don't fully damage this team, they can go on and do damage for me in the division.
Yeah.
But this is a case where you don't want the other team to keep winning.
Yeah, if you're playing against like a low-ranked bash team, you want them to live forever and just start like killing your opponents.
Yes.
Particularly early in this season, like now. But this is beautiful pro elf team. Anything you do to them is great.
Yeah, and it's going to be tougher for Sterling Hornets, as we just said, to do damage against Tainted Brewers, but like random Kaz against Chorf blockers is practically a meme at this point. Or even like a Bull Centaur. I mean, City Slickers tried to do this last week. He was doing fouls on both these bulls like all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious about this. You see for both of them that I mean, we already talked about Sterling Hornets' TD differential, but both are 1 and 2 for touchdowns against, which I think is interesting fact, and I'm curious which way that swings this match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think this is gonna be a really interesting match. Is probably a really interesting match already.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to avoid spoilers on it and just like catch one of the streams after this.
If somebody posts in this stream, and they're probably not watching, so they're not gonna hear this. Someone comes in here and posts spoilers, I'm gonna be really mad.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed.
Because I wanna cuddle up and watch this one afterwards for sure.
Yeah.
As someone who's about to play both of them in the next couple weeks. So.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well,
this should be an exciting one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I was asking about
positively
this.
boring. No. I think this would be the match of the week if it weren't that the 1 and 2 teams were up against each other.
Right. Yeah. We've got 3 and 4, and as I joked earlier, was happy to be done with Skaven. What do I got next? Oh, more Skaven. All right.
Yeah, the better Skaven.
Yeah.
And you're still given 350.
Yeah. Love that.
Oh, yeah, in the Nulfa Ultra Stadium.
Yes.
Which just means that, because there's going to be 150 for a wizard, right?
Yep.
So there's 200 to spend. And that 200 is even better when... Because Skaven get pretty decent star players, right? Skitter could stab the fuck out of a runner, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dude's 87. Or you could just do Glart, and he's good too.
Yeah.
So you have your pick of, really effective star players against this Norse team.
Yeah. I think if I was to be honest, I would do Skitter. Glart's nice and all, but like tends to. I think this team is built for speed, and
Yeah.
Skitter just helps that.
Yeah, you
Speed
could
is
put
your
him on like
advantage.
you could put him on one of these runners, have him stab him, and his shadowing might actually do something.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, Glart could be cool too, but um, honestly, Claw's not really a thing that I get too worried about with Norse. I mean, though
Yeah, that's true.
my Ulfs maybe, my Yeti maybe, but I don't know. I don't think it's like sharpening what's already there. I think it just, I mean, it is something that you can get for that money. Um, I think you can get Glart and probably a Babe.
Yeah, Skitter. Yeah, so yeah, Skitter would be Skitter's normally 160. He drops to 110. With the
Hmm.
stadium, you add 150 for the wizard. That's 260.
Yeah.
That leaves 90 and 90 left, unless Billy Cheese Dog has some weird level. For 90, yeah, you can either get a couple babes. I'd probably do an apothecary.
Have I
Um,
not leveled Village Cheese Dog?
nope.
Hmm.
I checked right before the cast.
Oh yeah, I gotta go do that. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't have to do it right now, but okay. What are you giving him then?
I forgot already. I
Are you giving him piling on? Because that's what I'd give him.
yeah, that's right. I'm giving a piling on.
Because that we have like two broken piling on pieces.
Yeah, yeah,
In,
exactly.
in
So
answer to Gojira's question, these sheets are custom made each time. The generator is me.
yep. Um,
This
yes.
is what I
So
do when I'm like watching TV.
yeah, I don't know how. Um, I'm really bad at multitasking like that, but yeah, definitely. Part of the inspiration for wanting to do these was knowing that you were able to pull these together last season, and that yeah, it really just helps, especially with these. Well, especially with the match recaps and
Yeah, like last season, the first 2 weeks we didn't have them, and it was just like, okay, we're clicking through like the Blood Bowl 2 interface, and then it's like, why
so
don't I
much
just do
clicking.
this?
Yeah, you start to have dreams about that noise, and that's really old.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm getting piling on him. So yeah, that's just 20k.
and so that's built into the
Okay.
350 what I
Yep.
have listed there.
Yep.
So yeah, I would spend 10K of cash in order to have a wizard, skitter, and an apothecary.
Hmm. Yeah, you can do like a bring back a badly hurt triform cutter if you
Mm-hmm.
need to,
Mm-hmm.
or if you want to save it for like
Either
yeah.
Triform or Kiki Jiki. Both
Yep.
need to be in the match.
Yep. Exactly. And yeah, just having that extra one means that yeah, you can be playing for the win and playing for to preserve yourself for weeks to come.
Yeah, and the Storm Vermin are nicely built for this match. You got the one with Claw in case you want to go screaming at an Ulf.
Hmm.
Or if you need to move the stand firm Ulf, you can use the Juggernaut guy.
Hmm.
And that Juggernaut Tackle Mighty Blow guy is great at going after a couple dodge pieces. And then of
Yep.
course all these wonderful gutter runners.
Yeah.
You got the one kick piece. He's been really badly beaten up, but he can still do the
Hmm.
one thing you want from him. He can kick.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh, so
Festering Goblin.
this will be exciting. And this is 8:30 tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be good. And this is another one with they've had goblins.dc's allowed 2 touchdowns. I've allowed 3. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see that probably change. Um, yeah, it'll be
And I would like to see your
interesting.
casualty differential go positive.
Yeah, me too. Jeez. Yeah, I don't think it has been since season 1 for this team. Last season was not good.
You've had a rough go of it in places.
Yeah, yeah. Um, cool. Well, yeah, this should be fun. We should note too that Tim was talking about not being able to do this match or like the next 3 matches because of work
Yeah.
travel, but seems like he's found a way around it. We'll hope that his setup holds. Or it sounded like he played a match with the
Mhm.
travel setup, so I think he should be good to go. And yeah, this will be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, whatever else we might say about Cyanide, because there'll be plenty of complaining about Cyanide, the game scales down to relatively low-end hardware decently
Mm,
well.
mm, yeah, Yeah,
Like I have like a laptop that I do work on. It's not like a gaming laptop, and I can run it at the lowest settings. And that actually last season that saved me where my gaming PC had the hard drive failed.
mm.
Actually in the middle, like 5 minutes into a match,
Oh
and I
wow.
was able to resume by loading it up on my laptop. And it's like, hey, do you want to resume your match? And
Whoa.
that was going from Windows to Mac OS. Uh, on a different computer, and the game was just like, "Hey, you want to continue?"
Oh
And it
my
ran
gosh.
not great, but it actually worked. So
Yeah.
Cyanide got a lot of problems. I appreciate that it actually works.
Well, yeah, and that not to get on my I'm old and I remember Blood Bowl 1 horse, but do you remember how many problems that version had with
Yeah,
that
there was
sort
no
of thing?
reconnect, right? Like if
Yeah.
you had like a momentary network issue, it would just die.
Yep.
Here,
It
you just
was
get five
over.
minutes. It's a shame that your opponent can't say, "Hey, give him more time,"
Yep. Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
such an improvement.
Right.
And yeah, Tim Nilsson saying in chat, yeah, you got to play a match in another league, and it only dropped once, so
Perfect.
might be a little inconvenient, but it's great that he's going to get to stick around.
Yeah.
He's going to provide good games. He's obviously in contention.
Yeah.
It's really would be a shame for him to lose, several weeks of matches.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, there's nothing like having a full division. Um, just like just even one team missing is pretty noticeable. Having one less game for recappers as recappers to talk about is kind of a letdown. And
Yeah,
yeah, so
we
it's
were worried there might be 3 such matches a week,
oh
and
my
this did for a
gosh,
while.
yeah,
And between some people showing up late and Felicity Maya like hustling
yeah,
to find replacements, it's turned into really fun div.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, this will be 3 versus 4. We got 1 versus 2 tonight, and yeah, that leaderboard will be looking a lot different next time, probably.
Yeah, yeah, just inherently, unless I guess they both tie.
Yeah, yeah, true. That could be the case. We did
That'd be
see
so
our
boring.
first set of ties come through this past week. We had, I think, 3 of them actually. So,
Yeah, that's something I noticed making that the leaderboard was like it took a while for any ties to start showing up.
mm-hmm.
But
All
yeah,
right.
all bark no bite versus mean green and thick.
Yeah.
Orcs versus wood elves. Wood elves coming in low compared to what they normally are, thanks
Mm-hmm.
to some pieces being out and that death day took. Still giving up a 110 to the orcs.
Still giving up 110, which this is coming up in chat. Tim just said like these orcs are way too trim, and it's true. Like there's no real
Yeah,
weakness here, right? Like there's no weakness, but they're
yeah,
still at 1480, and then you're like, well, okay, I can't exploit that.
yeah. I mean, like, with injuries back, I'm playing like 2100 TV Nurgle. There are some weaknesses in this team.
Mm.
In this div, this team is great
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like trim. It's not giving up SPP to like the stuff it's being matched against.
Yeah,
Not SPP, TV to the teams it's being matched against.
true. Yeah, I guess you as orcs, you're gonna want guard spam, kind of similar to
Right.
dwarves. They're not quite there yet. The guard is on other pieces in their black orcs, except for one. So
Yeah.
you want those
Yeah.
at their
I mean,
next step.
ideally, a black orc is block, guard, stand firm, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's a perfect piece
Yep.
for what it's supposed to be. But
Yep.
they've all got block, right? They've got the most important one,
Yes, they do.
and you've
And
got 4 guard, which is plenty for this div.
yeah, yeah, it really is. More we talk about them, the less I'm excited about playing them. But I'm not having to play them this week. David
Mhm.
is, and yeah, this has got to be. This is tough because I think you do have a good team, and we've talked about it, right? Like his team is stacked all the way through. The two best, I would say, his 2 best players, maybe 2 of the 3,
Yeah.
being
The only
out.
question is Aldia.
Yeah, right. Aldi is close, but Aldi is kind of a weird utility piece.
True.
I wouldn't
The
like.
flashy players are both out.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Like, I think this is. I mean, maybe this is the match we count David out and then he wins because we've been like, yeah, look at David's sweet team. Nothing's gonna happen to that. I don't know. This one's a big question mark for me.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this one. I think this could go either way. I think even as beaten down as they are, the Wood Elves still have the pieces that they would need to like get at the ball and win this game.
Yeah.
That said, if you can start seeing some removals even against the journeyman, the orcs can just dominate them, and they've got the pieces they need, right? Like Wile and Dr. Gray can take blitzes at anything on the team, right? You've got you just got enough on the orcs, and they're so lean. I do wonder what you take with the 110.
Yeah, well, here's a thing I was thinking of. One, I'm curious if Gojira wants to share what he's putting on this blitzer.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I don't know what you do for orc
If
blitzers.
if it had been Dr. Gray, I would take piling on, but I don't know if
Oh,
you do something
right.
different because of move up.
I mean, maybe doesn't that make it more attractive because then you have more movement coming out of laying down?
Yeah, I mean, argument for is, yeah, you have more movement coming out of laying down. Argument against is movement up is nice, and it means that you're giving up having that like 7 range, right?
Yeah,
Like he's more like
yeah.
of a safety piece. And Dr. Gray, could that be your killer?
Mm-hmm.
I would also consider I would also consider Frenzy. That movement up is great with Frenzy.
Ooh, yeah.
So I would possibly, yeah. So I think for in terms of the next immediate match, you do piling on because you just want to kill these fucking elves. I think long term, Dr. Gray is a more natural killer, so maybe you would consider Frenzy. That said,
Yeah.
piling on's still good. Piling on's still real good. So yeah,
I,
and Kojiro saying in chat, I don't know yet. Well, maybe piling on, but I don't know. So yeah, I would do piling on or Frenzy, and I would do whichever one you think is more fun.
yeah. I wouldn't. This probably isn't the vision for it, but I'm always tempted by Juggernaut.
Yes, Juggernaut's really cool. If I wanted to do Juggernaut, I would do Frenzy then Juggernaut,
Ooh,
and it'd be like
yeah.
that piece is then complete at that point.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's a
true.
perfect surfing piece.
Yeah. Because then, yeah, right. You get way more value out of it when you're doing that with Frenzy, because then it can just keep your Frenzy rolling. Yeah, I really like that. I mean, obviously, you're talking to the Norse coach. He's gonna tell you to take Frenzy.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Gray's at 23 out of 31 SPP, so that's 8 away, and you can try to feed him some touchdowns.
Yeah. Or some sweet wood elves.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. So yeah, Pilot on or Frenzy would be the 2 choices I would think through.
Yeah. Yeah. People pointing out you want Frenzy first, and again, Norse coach. I already have it all, so
I mean, and I do like Juggernaut even without Frenzy. My killer on my Nurgle team does not have Piling on, does not have Frenzy. He does have Juggernaut.
That's
because
right. Yeah.
I do like that more control style. I think it works well with that. Right, that would be a piece you could send out, and he hits somebody, and he either knocks him down or he moves him back, no matter what.
Yeah. But I do think. Really like the idea of Frenzy for him. That piece gets way scarier.
And Frenzy's a lot of fun, and not everyone expects to face it on an orc team.
Yeah. Oh, here's what I was thinking. So they have 116 cash. Is it time to get a bench?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's probably better than any inducement.
110. Yeah. I think you get another lineman, and
because then it's like you could get a bribe, right? Where you get a lineman and then foul with him, and if he gets ejected, you have a bench.
Yep. Exactly.
It's the same.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. And eventually, I don't know. Do you build a Fowler with orcs, right?
It's tough because let's see, what are linemen? I mean, linemen are 50K, which is okay.
Yeah, that's the same as Norse.
Yeah. I get 40K Fowler pieces, so I get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't. You can absolutely do a Fowler on an orc team.
Yeah. I'm not too familiar with them, but I have been enjoying watching them in this div, and we'll see. Curious. Oh yeah, Gojira is saying throwers AV8 though. I don't think we were saying get a thrower. I think we were saying just get another lineman.
Yep.
But if you want to do thrower, I guess now's the time for that too. But
Yes, because you are hitting
sure.
the point where you're not building a ball carrier blitzer, and that's okay. But it's definitely a decision you've made.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you want to do a throw, now would be the time for it.
Yeah, you're in the Elfie div. Get yourself some sure hands and hang out. Or something. I don't know. I mean, I think it's, yeah, I feel like it's also a safer environment to try it out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think he was just assuming we were like, get your thrower, man.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think either of us have much experience with orcs, so.
No, I played, before my Nurgle team, I played a 4-season Greenhorn with orcs, and I was like,
oh,
this is okay, but I want to play Nurgle instead.
yeah. I've been
Have some
liking.
interesting pieces.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been liking watching Mean Green and Thick, and like it's like, yeah, turn my opinion on them a little bit.
I actually do really like watching orc games, and like one of my favorite coaches to watch like stream last season was from my div was an orc coach.
Oh yeah.
And so they're fun. I just like the weirdness of Nurgle.
Yeah, fair.
Orcs are a good team.
Yeah. Cool. We got one more?
The next. Nope, we got 3 more.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We're doing really good on that. It's like, yeah, we're gonna get faster this, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
We're just adding like videos and that.
Yeah. All right. So Flyboys versus Arf Arf. I'm an elf. This is a fun one.
Yeah.
Though I'm sure Arf Arf is wishing for his strength up goal right now.
Yeah, I don't know if 240 gets you enough to accommodate not having that guy.
Probably not. Do you take a wizard?
Maybe. Right, like werewolves are fast.
Yeah.
And ghoul, and like you have one ghoul and it's like a little fast, but you're not great at it.
Oh, I totally forgot to make a comment on this, but I noticed Legolas 2.0, which finally got his level. He was sitting at 30 or 31 and gets freaking mighty
Oh yeah,
blow.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's a great point. That just happened. What a nice level.
What the
That dude
heck?
is a beast.
Yeah. Jesus.
That
okay.
dude is a beast.
I'm really glad
Really scary pace.
I'm really glad I'm done with them. Yeah. Yeah, 2 mighty blow block wolves and one's got strength up to boot. Yeah. So,
yeah, I mean, this is 2 good teams, 2 teams that are like really well developed, that have a lot going on. I feel like they can do what they need to do right now.
yeah.
And this should be an interesting one.
Yeah. You're right though. I don't know, or I don't know if you said this, but yeah, I don't know if the 240 is going to make. I know you just said Arfarf's fairly well developed, but compared to Flyboys,
Yeah.
who's the oldest team in the div, so it makes sense, right, that they're a bit more stacked. I don't know what you get for 240 that kind of makes up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Wilhelm Chaney costs 240. You could also do. You could also do. I don't hate a wizard. I don't think a wizard is bad, and you could do a wizard on a bribe. Use the bribe to support Mick Blitzer because you do have a dirty player piece. And spending 10K is fine. This team doesn't need to buy anything.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I do. Bribe and a wizard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fine with all that. Also fine
because
with
like with the wizard, you usually get some things down, even if you don't like take the ball carrier down. If you break the cage a little bit, you send the flesh golems in, you send the whites in, you send the zombies. You just fill space around where the ball is.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you have the humans trapped, and it's an agile human team, but they're still limits. They're not all AG4. They can't all just like drift away like the wind, like what else can.
Right. Yeah, and this is a game that the flesh golems could really shine. So there's no, I mean, the ogre might be able to focus down on them a little bit, but there's nothing to take care of that stand firm,
Right.
which I think is just, it's super annoying. I think even in my match, um, like
Flesh columns are in pieces, and one of them's blodge.
yeah, there's some sort of like vortex that just like sucks you into trying to get them out of the
Yeah.
match, and I think I had to like snap out of it. I was like, no, just go for the ball. But like they're so annoying. You just like want to deal with them, but they take up so much resources, so many
Yeah.
resources.
Yeah, I have two Stanford Nurgle Warriors, and it's always wonderful when people try to go after them. Because it's like, if you fail, you're stuck.
Yep. Yep. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that Klepto would necessarily fall into that, but yeah, it is sometimes unavoidable, and it's yeah. This is another one I think could be a little bit of a toss up, and just kind of could be a 2-1 grind or a tie.
Yeah, really either way.
Yeah, but I don't expect either team to blow each other out. Though I just realized 11 Kaz I'm an alpha is taken. Jesus.
Yeah, if he can turn it around in this coming match, that could be huge.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and Tim Nielsen, I guess earlier, taking credit for getting rid of Stone Ripper, which, yep. Maybe Klepto, yeah, send you something. But yeah, interested to see this one. I don't think a time has been picked out for this one yet. But it
no,
might
the
be
last three
tomorrow.
matches don't have times yet.
Okay. I think there's something in the 4D Discord talking about possibly tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think with a time.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
All right. The Rats of Nim versus Peak Altitude. Which, yeah, now we're getting into matches. So we have, our top teams in the division matching off, so it makes sense that we're also having some of the teams along the bottom.
Yeah, and both teams where they're, I think, looking to, at this point, do some development.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Kilimanjaro going to be missing for this match. But otherwise, yeah, Peak Altitude looking pretty healthy. I don't know. I can't remember. Well,
hey, please cover for the next 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Sure. Yeah, so I think one thing as far as development for Derek Cannon is going to be a question of whether they're going to try to build this lineman bench up, or if they're going to I think I'd prefer that versus getting your fourth catcher, or a second thrower. But that will be something be interesting to see. I don't know if they're going to save their cash so they have enough for a lineman and then saving up in case of something terrible happening. As we see, I think the most lopsided CAS differential of -8 is here in Peak Altitude, taking 9 against so far and only delivering 1. That said, the Rats and Nim aren't heavy on delivering CAS either. The Rat Ogre is certainly pretty annoying, but sometimes doesn't do what you want. And I think with Elves, you have a little bit better chance of getting away from it, though the tail could come into play. I don't know. Rat Ogre is such an odd piece. I'm not familiar enough with how you utilize it. But yeah, again, we have the one turn wonder of Martin Brisby, really changing any sort of potential game plan that you might have for Skaven, and also having 60k in pocket. They can get a Babe, or spend some extra cash if they want to get additional Apo, which I wouldn't really be crazy about. Though I don't know what they're really looking to buy with money. Is there a stadium
More bench?
recruitment?
You mean the Skaven?
Yeah, I
because Skaven has such a bench. Like and this is a match where I feel like that bench is not going to do that much for them. It's sort of unfortunate. Probably maybe a stadium. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked a little bit at the jump. I started right to left because and talked a little bit about Peak Altitude's kind of decision that they need to make about whether they start buying up linemen, which I think we've both kind of suggested over the past couple weeks, versus getting another catcher.
Right.
and I just so you have some fluff or fodder to kind of shield those pieces, and you're not having to put them. I mean, you do have the journeyman to be putting on the line, but I think eventually high elves you want a little bit of a bench. You're not usually built for running as low as like pro elves, perhaps.
No, with AV8, part of the idea is supposed to be that like you can actually build pieces.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Jim Nielsen pointed out that, as the other Skaven coach, with this sort of bench, what you do is you fell.
Yeah, 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 exactly. We don't have any Gary-friendly types yet, which I think folks that have been in Rebel for a while will know. Gary Friendly is a longtime rat lineman who has dirty player and a bunch of other weird skills that has made it a bit of a meme. But yeah, no dirty player yet. No sort of like dedicated fouling piece. Which yeah, I don't know. Would you? I'd almost would have taken dirty player over block for that lineman.
Yeah, I mean, I think that block guy's been around since before the existence of this bench.
Fair.
That bench is relatively new to this
Yeah.
season,
Yeah.
and so that guy just existed. That said, I mean, for me, it would less be dirty player, it would be kick.
Oh yeah. Yeah, not seeing a kick piece.
But yeah, Tim Nielsen saying block Leno was fine, and it seems like he knows what he's talking about when it comes to us given.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't fall down constantly. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think this is gonna be tough for the High Elves, given that I just played this Skaven team. They play pretty solid. The one turn, you don't have any pieces to really hunt that one turn gutter runner. Your blitzers both have tackle, which is great, but because this bench is so thick and you don't have a way to really whittle that down,
Right, he's going to only show up, turn 8, turn 16.
Yep. Yeah, I think unless, yeah, I don't think he's gonna. At least with me, he didn't put him out there unless he had to. And I think that's what you do with that piece, because they get enough SVP just off of one turning.
Yeah, and Tim Nielsen pointed out that block alignment's nice. He stays up, he can hit something sometimes, and on a Skaven team that's this undeveloped, having a survival skill on a line rat is probably not the worst thing. Right?
Yeah.
Like none of the gutter runners have block or wrestle yet.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And so like having something that can stand in the way.
Yeah, and to be fair, yeah, like when I faced off against this team, I didn't even bother with this lineman. Unless he was like directly in my way, I didn't go after him, because either I'm going after a gutter runner or I'm going after a no skill lineman. So yeah, it immediately takes a target off its back, which if you put it in the way does kind of conflict with opponent logic a little bit. They're like, well, I don't really care about getting that piece, but I got to get it out of the way. So you don't like, I don't know. It's yeah, I suppose I see all that. And I definitely had a place on my team early on where I didn't have a bench, and so I didn't take dirty player. So yeah, that line of decisioning makes sense.
Yeah, and Tim Nielsen noting that sprint on Justin is not great. I believe that predated movement up on Martin Brisby. We've talked about that.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't have gone first sprint on anything.
Yeah, I feel
it is what it is.
I don't think I brought it up in a while because I've just gotten used to seeing it. But yeah, I don't think you plan for one turn that way. I don't know. No. I don't have Skaven, or I haven't coached Skaven over a long period of time, so you don't really know. But I think you wait for the.
As compared to having like a guy with wrestle.
Yeah.
That would be more useful.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, I do think. I do think the Skaven are probably going to win this out because of that one turner, unless something tragic happens to it.
I think they at least get the draw just on the back of Martin Brisby.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I guess one last thing that I'll say is we've gone a long way from calling peak altitude our diamond in the rough that's gonna surprise the division.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. So still early, but yeah, has not gone well. All right. So next match is Silkwood City Slickers versus the Skaven Rat Rodents. 12 versus 13 on this one.
Yeah.
And we're in a beer stand stadium.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, totally understand why the Wood Elves took that, but I like the beer stand.
Yeah, well, they did have a strength up frenzy war dancer.
Oh, right. And so that's why it made sense. And now that guy's gone and it's super sad.
Yeah. So everyone's going to be drinking their tears away.
Yeah.
Fans in the stand. Very curious to see. Obviously, we already talked about like they have good levels on some good pieces. Very curious to see what route those go. This is interesting because there's no real inducements happening for Skaven Rat Rodents. Damn it. The Khemri. And they're not in their stadium, so they're not going to get a bribe unless they spend the money.
Yeah. I mean, you could spend 70 to get a bribe. And
Oof.
I feel like you don't, because you could always lose something crazy could always happen, right? The tree could get his hands on a Blitzra.
Yep.
And then it's like real bad.
Yeah. Didn't they already lose a Blitzra the first match or something?
Yeah, Ratharin is a replacement.
Yeah.
And you have such a bench that you can afford to
just foul.
Just do some skelly fouls. And it's against 87.
You got sneaky get. That's basically
that's
a bribe.
True. Yeah. It's like a third of a bribe in situations where you don't care.
But still, right? Like,
God, that's a double.
Yeah.
yeah, we can keep moving.
Yeah. I think, they've, I do think they do just like you say. I think they just foul without the bribe. And hopefully terrible things don't happen to their Tomb Guardians from the start. I mean, thankfully that strength plus War Dancer's not around to like try to do mean things to them.
Yeah.
And as a result, this is probably, even with the tree, it's probably a kind of a tough match for them, for the Wood Elves.
Well, so the way I see this match going is if Craig Pitpup's like luck holds up, he cannot do anything with the ball. The Wood Elves effortlessly take it off of him and score.
Yeah.
But the 5 mighty blow pieces just wear down the Wood Elves. Mm-hmm. So this looks to me like a match where like the left side takes damage, but then scores. So like sort of a Pyrrhic like 2-1 sort of game, or even 2-0 sort of game.
Yeah, the way you describe that makes me think 2-0. Unless like the damage is just catastrophic. Because if the throw rod does get the ball, it does have sure hands.
And you can put him in the middle of like some stuff that the Wood Elves don't want to go into.
Yep. Just keep it with the Tomb Guardians and roll up the pitch, or something like that. I guess. Yeah. I guess you want your guard skelly. It's a match. I think if it goes, well, I wouldn't even say if it goes similar for the Wood Elves this last match, because really they only had that big leap fail that ended up with the death. I feel like they played pretty solidly in that match. They just didn't have their good stuff come together. So if it's just like an average match for Wood Elves, I think they, again, because they are so speedy, I think you're right. I think they could probably take this.
Yeah.
And unless somehow Khemri start with the ball, get 4 removals in the kickoff. And then it's just, Wood Elves constantly. But, that's why you have the tree. So that can't really happen.
Yeah. And this is, this is a match between two teams that have 0 like points so far. Mm-hmm. So we will break that this week.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see which one comes out on top, or yeah, maybe there's a draw.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that was the last match.
Yep.
I was just rolling through them now.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, anything else we want to add at the end here?
Thanks to everyone for not spoiling the ongoing match.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go. How are we gonna do this?
Well, you can do whatever you would like. I'm just going to close this. Wait for the match to be sure that the match is finished. Like I have the sidebar where it shows that Pimp is still up. I'm just going to wait for that to go away,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will go to his thing and I'll watch his video. But yeah, so what I would suggest is if you're going to like host him or something, just let me know and I'll disconnect first.
No, I don't. Well, I guess I could do that. Yeah, I mean, but whoever's watching this is probably also watching that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, thanks to anyone watching either live or
Yeah.
coming back to it. Good luck to everyone's matches this week.
Yeah.
Looking forward. There's a bunch of them we're looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Yep. Thanks again, and catch you all later.